Call the meeting to order. Welcome tonight. Thank you for taking time to be here. Don Hickey can't be here tonight. Trip. If you want to see, so present here tonight, Aldine Tyson, Paul McIntyre, Chris Paul, and Don Hickey, and myself, Paul Hutchison. Aldine, would you give the invitation? Sure.
Let us pray. Father God, we come now with our heads and thankful hearts, Lord, thanking thee for this day and thanking thee for the rain that thou sent over our area, Lord. And we just pray that blessings upon our community, Lord. And we just pray now for this meeting that we're about to have. Thank thee for our citizens that have taken time out of their busy schedule to come and be with us, Lord. And we pray now that whatever we do here will be pleasing in thy sight, Lord. Help us be mindful of others. Please forgive us for our many sins and wrongdoing. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to relax the agenda for 2 items. One of those is the community bid for the courthouse roof, and one is there. And the second one, and the second is there intergovernmental agreement for E911 services. Do I have a motion to relax the agenda for those 2 items? Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is statement of remarks from citizens. I asked that this is only allowed for 15 minutes. So, whoever wants to come up and speak, we're going to keep it down to 15 minutes and we have a long agenda tonight.
My name is Hal Roach. There's been a lot of controversy lately about the 1.5 million supposed increase in the budget. The problem is, folks, this was put out there last August. There was advertised in the paper an $8.7 million budget. That's 33% higher than the previous year. And people are wondering where the money's going to come from. Where was all the anger when this was happening? Where, I'm hearing all the outrage, but I'm just bringing facts to you. Because if you can't step up here and bring facts, you're wasting everybody's time. Now, so I also found out what the county had spent as of December 31st of last year. $3 million in 4 months. That's what was spent by the county. $3 million in 4 months. That put them on track to spend $9 million for this year. So before you throw all your anger at this bunch right here, remember this. Remember this. That they inherited this from last year. Remember this. They are working to reduce it as much as they can. But it's inherited. And shake your head no if you want to, that's fine. But the fact is facts. The fact is, this was put in the paper last August. Nobody said a word. But now you want to be outraged by it. Kind of a false outrage. Where was your outrage when the Industrial Authority gave away $9 million county dollars last year? only to find out here recently we were told, oh, if you don't do it, if you don't give them the tax abatement, then they're going to turn around and they're not going to come to the county. Only to find out here recently in an email discovery that that was a lie. So you're fine with them doing that, but these guys are in here trying to work this budget the best they can. And I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that knows me knows that I am not one that will stand up for government very often. And I do make my outrage known. We've been at these meetings for the last 3 years. And it's a quick way to get yourself labeled conspiracy theories. But as that old joke goes, my pronouns are, I told you so. And so, please, take your time, get your facts right. That's all I got to say.
Hi, good evening. My name is Cindy Dunlap. I am an Irwin County citizen. I reside at 843 Spruce Road for the record. Tonight, the first thing I want to say is I'm not here to attack anybody or go after anybody. I am here with facts. I am here as concerned. I do watch what goes on a regular basis. I do follow budgets and other things that go on in this county. Given last year's budget as how did the state, given an opportunity to see a difference made, that difference wasn't made. So when the proposed budget that came around this time, after looking at it and kind of seeing where we're at this point with our fiscal year budget, it does propose a lot of questions and a lot of concerns with a $1.52 million increase, especially when we're currently sitting with this year's budget completely exhausted. We're looking at a $500,000 TAN note right now to finish this fiscal year and go into our next fiscal year just to make ends meet. That TAN note has to be paid off with interest, usually within a year's time. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 8 months. The concern right now is where is this funding coming from? If we can't meet the budget that we already have currently, with the revenue that we have in currently, we cannot assume that we will have the revenue to come in, especially looking at new laws and different things that are going on. So when I look at these things, and I could go on all night long on the different revenues that we have, and I'm going to touch on everything, just a few short ones. A key concern is emergency, hospital funds, that kind of thing. We had a new law go through this year in July 15th of 2025 that no longer requires or no longer can have your debt put onto your credit. So therefore, basically those that are paying on it no longer have to pay on it. There's no repercussions anymore. So when we're looking at emergency and hospital revenue, that kind of thing, we're probably looking at a deficit there, because there's no reason for people to pay their bills above their insurance. If they don't have insurance, what's the repercussion of paying that bill? So we have to look at these things. They're not concrete revenue. Our industrial revenue coming in. We all know it's not a secret. Forest River had left this past year. What do we have? I'm just simply asking, do y'all have something in place? Is it concrete in place to replace that revenue? Do we have more industry coming in? I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just asking for answers of concrete revenue rather than grants. How many of this $1.52 million increase, how much of that is for matching grants? And on top of that, are these grants already approved? Do we have a proceed letter? Or are we hoping we get the grants? This is not concrete revenue. We're basing it on questionable revenue, which will put us even further in the hole. At some point, we have to have some really stern, hard talks, hard decisions being made to be able to say, hey, we need to set a realistic budget. And if that funding does come in, we can always amend the budget to use that funding for what it's supposed for and what we need it for, rather than hoping. when it was asked at the last meeting that I watched, it asked, well, what about, taxes? And it was a tax increase. It's inevitable a tax increase probably will come. But if you look at the numbers, for 2023, the sales assessment for Irwin County is 38.25% of the 40% assessment. That only leaves us a 1.75% to hit that 40% mark. You go over that, you're looking at having to have show revenue. And with showing that revenue, that means there's a possible rollback. So if we have that come in and you have to roll back, are you going to turn around immediately and increase taxes to make up for that fund, for that revenue, for these appraisals coming in? GMAS is, they're here, they're doing, the contract went out, June, July of this year, 2025. Where are we at with those numbers? We're in August. September is just around the corner. We have to get those numbers in, then notices have to go out. There's a time frame. I don't know that time frame exactly. I could have possibly, asked, but I did not. But I'm assuming it's somewhere between 45, 60, 90 days that they have to give for someone to appeal it. Then you have to hold hearings. Then you have to go back and make those adjustments if there are any adjustments made to depend on that for December of this year. That time frame is not there. And if it is, that means we should have numbers. Does anybody know where we're at on those numbers, or is it a guessing game again? I'm asking that the county commission take this into consideration and say enough is enough. We cannot keep going forward year to year to year and constantly getting 10 notes and going in debt and expecting taxpayers to make up for that. Y'all are also taxpayers. I'm asking that you just consider looking back at this year's budget, keeping it, having those hard discussions, and making those hard decisions, and getting Irwin County in a better physical manner so that every Irwin County citizen, employee, and administration can enjoy us having reserve rather than year to year borrowing money to go further in debt. I ask that y'all do take that in consideration tonight when y'all look at the proposed budget and strike this proposed budget and look at it again so that we don't go further in debt. Thank you.
We have only a few minutes if anybody else. I think about 3 minutes. Thank you, Sheriff. Donald? Statement from Morrison County Commission.
I want to say that we haven't borrowed any money for years, have we?
I'm not aware of it.
I didn't think we had. Okay.
After the tone, say your name and then press the pound key. Thank you. There is currently one other participant in the conference.
Mr. Chairman, my last.
Go ahead, Paul.
This is for the month of July. I had a lady call me about Taylor Road. I heard a deal about building up the road area. TJ, did you check on that or?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then also when you come off of Taylor Road, the bridge there on the Jeff Davis Highway, somebody reported that they couldn't see coming out the end of it. And I got to TJ about that, and they got guys out there, I guess, with the side mower and trim that up. And I got before and after pictures. It looks real good. It was real growed up. I appreciate y'all doing that. And out on Walker Road, a couple of weeks ago, we had a big tree that fell across the road, and I called TJ and him. And matter of fact, I didn't realize TJ was sick, but even sick, he called and got some people on that, and I appreciate that. And then I got a call the other day from Fillmore Road. Matter of fact, physical address is 418 Fillmore Road, and they requested 2 slow children playing signs, and TJ's checking on that for me, getting, I think he said he got some stop signs ordered along with some slow children signs ordered. And then of course, we got a couple of reports different times in the month last month for about a slip heel on Stillwater, and I think y'all put some sand on that until we get some gravel to put on it. I appreciate y'all doing that. And also, right around the corner from Stillwater on LJ, Howard Lane called me, said they're going to be cutting some timber, and I think we put sand on that clay hill as well. And then Briar Lane, at the end of Briar Lane, they said we hadn't been scraping all the way, and I think TJ and them was going to work on that too. And I had another call from Van Buren, had a pecan tree down the road, and they took care of that. And then this morning, I got a call from the manager. I don't think it's called Independent Grain anymore. Anyway, I still call it IP&G. You don't notice it till the rain falls, kind of like it did this morning. There was water all along the road, and it's caused by the shoulders there. If you turn on the road, there, what I call the old feed store, the shoulders is built up, and TJ and them is going to work on that too. So that's all I got.
Anybody else? I will add this. Actually, we're at 28%. You said 31%, we're at 28%. So for those who don't know, the state mandates every county, you fall below the threshold, you're mandated to do a tax evaluation. It's mandated for the counties that don't follow through with that. It costs that county is penalized for every parcel not reevaluated. So it's and also it's been since 2007 since our last evaluation. So technically, we've been running the county based off that in 2007. So to give you some more facts, so they have been budgeting, it's been in the paper, $7.5 million this year, right? Last year they budgeted about 7.5. They spent 8.9. They did it again this past year, the year we were in, the fiscal year we were in, 7.5. As of Friday, we're at 8.1, so we're going to be around 8.5 to finish up this year. We're pushing. We've taken a lot of, implemented a lot to kind of measure spending. I think we've done a good job, got good employees in the county. And one thing is, we had employees that hadn't had a raise in a couple of years. So we had to address a lot. This budget you're looking at is actually a budget that should have been at last year or the year before last. You need to see this. We had two choices. Either give y'all a copy and paste budget, put it in the paper, everybody feel good, or put the truth out. We put the truth out. I knew, and Willis knew that it would raise eyebrows. I had to, that's what I ran on, to be transparent. I put it out there. The only thing really extra in spending is we're trying to get a new data software for county offices. Our servers about had its heyday. It's going to take a lot of money to repair it. This software will allow us to use a cloud base, not have to invest in a server. So we're taking a lot of measures. And look, if we don't hit the budget, it would always go to you as the citizens, like the town law. The town law was there just for securities. We're not in need of that right now, but it's there for a backup. I've never been in this position again before. This is a great unknown for me. I'm used to running corporate companies where I knew what was in the bank. County's a little different. You got a lot of entities, you got taxes coming in, you got all this coming in, just like the sheriff talked. You look at his budget, but you see a lot coming in, it helps his budget. So it's a new process for me. I can tell you, I struggled with it, but I was committed that bring it before you, be truthful, and the budget's what it is. So that's all I got to say. Anybody else?
Can I ask a question? When I went and asked for this year's physical budget that was approved for this year and individual departments and where they're at compared to what was budgeted and itemized, I was told I couldn't get those.
They don't exist.
Because they don't exist. So what are we basing it on if we have nothing to go by?
Let me tell you, we looked at the budget that was published in the paper. Nothing was put in the database. So understand this. Let me be clear. The day I took office, January 2nd, a hard reset was done on my computer. I had no access to nothing. Grants, anything. We had a courthouse roof grant. It was emailed back last year. I had to get Brandon to show me a picture where he had the letter. So I was blind. We've been blind working on just this fiscal year we're in now. We've been blind. There was nothing put in the system like it should be, like it is now. This going into this budget being the system, but nothing was in the system. And you can come up there and we'll all take polygraphs. You'd be surprised, but he has nothing. We've been running this county blind. And it's a miracle that we've been able to do what we've done. And I feel good after seeing where we're at compared to what it spent last year. I feel like we're doing something right. We're below what we spent last year. But keep in mind, they also had over a $2 million ARPA sitting there that they could use as that resource. So I know didn't it really put $2 million transfer about 1 point?
We transferred total last year about $2 million. EMS was part of that, but about 1.6 of that was ARPA funds that was transferred in to help them float their budget.
But to be honest, if there's nothing in the system, that data is not put in there. So we had to work scratch. I know it's hard to believe, but it's the truth. Tricia will tell you, anybody at that county office tell you we've been blind, but we've done a good job. We focus off more spending. That's all for comments. So, if anybody wants to have a meeting in the conference room about this, I'll be happy to set something up, and me and Willis will be glad to meet with anybody with any concerns, questions, and do our best to answer those questions in transparency. So, if you're hanging around after the meeting and you want to try to schedule something, let me know. Moving on to old business, you will see in your handout Golden Waste did send in a curbside, I call it Golden, I think it's Golden Environmental. Send in a proposal where it's a cost per month per resident to participate in curbside pickup. I think it's $21. I think one thing we could keep this as old business, because I know one concern was to have some type of ordinance in place for trash. You mentioned
There is one.
if we have one, we could have a motion to approve curbside and figure out what we want to do with our convenience sites.
I have a question. So this proposal is with an individual, not with the county, right?
Yes, I just wanted that for y'all direction. That's not for the county, that's for what it's costing.
Yeah. So what are you asking us?
Do y'all want to make a motion to go curbside pickup?
I think we still have some questions.
Okay.
You said if there's a ordinance.
Yeah, and Chris said that I didn't know if we needed to look at
So I can look at the ordinance while they do it. I would.
It's
So I would like to table it.
Don said the same thing. What we'll do
Well, one other thing, I mean, 'cause this is the biggest topic of the night. It greatly affects the budget.
Exactly.
We also get insurance premium tax revenue for the unincorporated part of the county. We got to figure out. We're not doing solid waste, then how does it
go invest it,
how does it apply? And I think you have to advertise that in your budget.
yeah.
When
Well,
you use
we-
insurance.
Yeah, we can look to invest it. It gives you options, either use it for firefighting or trash pickup. One thing we would like to do is invest half of that money into our volunteer fire department. Help reduce the ISO ratings. That's the goal. Rebuild some stations, relocate some stations, give the firemen some equipment. God bless them. I think we got some here tonight. It costs a lot of money to outfit the firemen. A lot of money. And, so I would, that's what we want to do is invest in our volunteer fire department, enhance that, and help reduce our ISO, which is out of sight.
So do you need a motion to take it?
Yeah, I have most, and I'll get y'all the orders emailed to you.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Haldane made the motion.
Second.
Chris Paul second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries to table the curbside pickup.
Don, I keep looking to my left, but you ain't here, son.
Sorry, Scotty.
He said James looks better than you do. The noise ordinance should be, you said that right, James? The noise ordinance?
It's the one that was amended at the last meeting.
Yeah.
And I think this is just, it needs to be at a regular meeting after the measure.
That's correct.
That'll be done
So we could have a public hearing on this.
September 1st.
So that's it.
We just need to get with you, Mr. Chairman, about the notices and paper.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, a motion to approve July 7th, 2025 Commission meeting minutes.
Second.
Waiting on the motion. Have a motion to approve the July 7th, 2025 Commission meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Alvin made the motion.
Second.
Don Hickey second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Are you going to do one now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Need a motion to approve July 28, 2025 workshop meeting minutes. I make a motion. Paul McIntyre made a motion.
Second.
Chris Paul second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Approved July 28th, 2025 public hearing minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Chris Paul made the motion. Aldine second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Approve the county budget fiscal year 2026. Do I have a motion to approve the county budget?
Mr. Chairman, I think there's just a lot of questions about where revenue would come from to fund this. I mean, you know, part of me appreciates the spirit of wanting to just put it all out there, but I know that still has to be paid for.
Right.
So when I did the math on the proposed property tax revenue, it looked like a 52% increase in property tax revenue. So we have revenue from 24-25 of 3.528. So just say 3.5 million. And proposed revenue, this is what you gave us during the workshop. So property tax revenue for 25-26 is 5.366. So that's over 50% increase in property tax revenue. And I looked on down and like vehicle tags about the same, mobile home tags about the same, timber about the same, you know, as you'd expect, you know. And the only thing that we control is the millage rate. So that's, I don't know how, you know, how it went down, if that was like the last thing to figure, but I just can't get behind a 52% increase in property tax revenue from the same people.
Well, can I propose this? I would have a request us to have a call meeting, Friday morning, 8 o'clock. Y'all are invited. All the county commissioners should be there, and we will stay there until we can come to a conclusion on this budget. If it takes us the next day, we will do so for the citizens of this county. So do I have a motion for us to have a call meeting Friday morning? I think it's unfair if everybody's going to object. County commission should be part of this process.
Well, let me say this. I want to say this too. I know that it's common to say the commissioner's budget, but at this point, it's what you presented to us.
It is a county commissioner budget. You approve it. We can debate all day long.
Well, I would vote against it right now. But what I'm saying is, as of right now, this is what you, the chairman, have presented to the board.
I presented what I know, and in order for us to get the feedback, we need to have you there. Have your input.
Yeah.
We'll cut this thing, and that way, when we cut, then we can all go down the ship together. And I'm good. We can cut this thing, but I think it should be left up to me. I am the chairman and the administrator, but this is a team up here. We're all county commissioners. We represent every district, and we own this budget. When you vote on it, you do own it.
Yeah, well, that's right.
So I think it's the best solution to this is for us to have a call meeting, invite the public to see us work, and let's figure it out and go line item by line.
There are, like during a workshop, I asked about, so the commissioner's office budget, well, this one's different now, but it virtually doubled. And it was because I think y'all put some insurance premiums and things that sort of been journal entries that go back out to other departments, but had been in another account over the years. I mean, a decade I've seen it this way. That y'all moved it to the commissioner's office like that. I would say, oof, let's, change. And I don't know what was changed, but I see it's at 772
Well,
now.
if we meet Friday morning, we can get the details out.
Any day, Friday morning is not good for me. I have service.
Friday, I would like for you to wait till I can get back in town, which will be first of next week.
Y'all do it next Tuesday?
That'll work. For me,
You not good, Paul? Nope. Sounds like we need to get together a little bit. How about Saturday? That's good, doing it Saturday. Don will be back the next week.
Let's table it until we can get together.
yeah,
When we can all be on.
there you go. I agree.
Yeah, when we can all come to an agreement, rather than set bigger, start tabling. Let's table it, all of us come together, get the citizens to come together, even if we have to advertise in the paper. And then we sit down as men and women and resolve this issue.
Sounds good. Do I have a motion to table?
I'll make that motion.
Alvin made the motion. Have a second. Paul second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we have some guests, Deanna Clements and Jason Dunn's here to talk about this is interesting, there's an easement over near the Wiregrass campus, and it's discovered, actually, this parcel of land is in Ben Hill County. So we've got it, in the county's name, it's just a small parcel that they need access to a class schooling that they're going to provide for the truck. But I'll let Jason come up and tell us about it.
Good afternoon, Commission. I appreciate y'all having us and being on the agenda. For probably the last 18 months or so, President Clements of Wiregrass and her team and I have been working on the establishment of a commercial driving license range at the Ben Hill Urban campus of Wiregrass. We are near the finish line when we got to doing some deed work. We got ready for the Ben Hill Urban Joint Development Authority to transfer land to PCSG, Technical College System of Georgia. We realized that land was in the name of the Urban County Commissioners or Urban County. So we're simply asking for the Commission to transfer that land to the Ben Hill Urban Joint Development Authority. It's about 0.576 acres, or just a little over a half an acre. That's almost inside the Millennial Tech Park, or the former Millennial Tech Park. And as soon as we can get that transferred, that will give us the last bit of run we need to break ground and start training commercial driver license folks out there and meet this truck driver shortage that the state's experienced. Any questions?
Who owns it on either side? Like that's one question I had. It's like you got the driveway and then the school, but left and right,
Yeah.
east and west.
My belief is that the school owns to a little bit of it, and then and what does it, maybe the Ben Hill Urban Joint Development Authority.
We got this little pocket, or the county.
I don't know exactly, Ms. Chairman, Chris, but I do know we need that highlighted area to move forward.
That's my understanding. When they were doing the deed work, it was it's actually, even though it's on Wiregrass, it's owned by Technical College System of the state of Georgia. Owns a portion of it on one side of it. The other part was owned by the Joint Ben Hill Urban Development Authority. And for some reason, that little piece right there was left under right. And it was only when they started doing the deed work where we could create that access point to the new driving range where it was going to go, but it was found out it was still under the Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, the commission asked if we could look at it. We looked at it as well, and I think I agree 100% what that is. If you look, we didn't do a complete title index because we want to save the money for the county. But we looked at the proposed deed and everything they're asking for. It looks like the parcel, half of it's owned by the state in Ben Hill County, half of it's already with the JDA. And I bet when everything was ceded to the JDA to start, this was probably supposed to be done as well, but for some reason it was left off. So I think it's arguable it's probably their property anyway.
Yeah.
But when they're trying to get all clean up title and everything, this is something that the county can do. since they're doing it with another government entity, we could just deed it over to the JDA.
And I think it hold up your funding too. Is that
It
correct?
is. Of course, the construction, we don't want to move forward with it until we have all the title work in place. The state does not want to proceed with any construction until we know that we've got, the title work in place for it. But we definitely are ready to proceed with it. We received a grant from the EDA for this. So all of the funding to put in the backing pad so we can start training was done through a federal grant, which was great. It doesn't cost the state payers any money for it. So this was just the property itself, being able to have the Joint Development Authority provide that little parcel of land for us to be able to put that backing pad on was a big part of one of the reasons why we were able to receive that grant for that.
And I just want to be clear for the county, this is not an easement, right? We need to deed it to the JDA.
Right.
So it wouldn't be an easement, we would be deeding it over to the Joint Development Authority.
I got no problem with it. I put it in form of a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Haldane has a motion.
I'll say.
Chris, Don second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Approve transfer. We talked about this in the workshop meeting last week, motion to close Taylor Road, whereas it has a history of the county had made a motion to close it one time and then shortly thereafter made a motion to open it. There's pictures in here where the road is deteriorated and has not had any maintenance on it for many, many, many years. So, take a look at that. If you got a motion to
So there are 3 houses on the road, right?
I'm not familiar with that. It seems like it's not a main road coming in.
And
Don knows more.
well, it goes between a couple roads, and but I mean, the houses on it. Have we talked to the folks on the road?
It's not being used, Chris. So nobody tried. I mean, you can look at the condition of the road and look right.
Well, the condition of the road may be our failure to maintain it. I mean, I don't know. Hey, Mr. TJ, do you know, I mean, do these people go in and out of this road? There's 3 houses on the road.
Yes, there's 3 houses on the Flossie, and they go out on Floss, but nobody goes, like Brook Street.
And they ask for it to be closed,
They ask for it to be open,
so we need to leave it open.
yeah. It ain't never been open since I've been.
I mean, it's open now.
That's the decision, either close or go back to maintenance.
But based on the minutes, okay, based on the minutes you showed us, it's still open.
Yes.
We closed it, and then we voted to close it, and a couple months or even a month later, we came back and voted to open it. And it's been open ever since. By law right now, it's open.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
But
has anybody questioned that it be closed? No?
just
It's like, does the farmers use it?
No.
Nobody uses it?
Nobody using it after the last house, nobody using that road. It's all rolled up.
But it's 3 houses on it. Does people live in those houses?
Yes.
but go out. He's saying they go out. There's 2 other roads there. We can keep it open, just put it back on, maintain it.
What will it take to maintain?
TJ knows.
They got some scrapes on that.
We have to go in there and clean up a lot, widen it back out, build a road back up, we can maintain it.
I mean,
Where's the road located?
it's between, it's east of 129, was it Flocks and, yeah, Rush Street.
Yeah, right below Russian Creek.
Mm-hmm. Like Brush Creek comes off between the blocks, and this is between the two.
Mr. Chairman, can I get with TJ right and report back to the commission?
Yes.
And we'll come back. Get with TJ, let's take a look at it.
Hey, yeah, let's table it, but in the meantime, find out, a cost estimate on what it's gonna take to get it to the condition to maintain. And because, that's gonna be very important if ain't nobody using it anyway.
Correct.
How much money is it gonna cost to get it to maintain? And
So-
is it worth spending that money if ain't nobody using it? And that's my point.
So do I have a motion to table for, closure of County Road till we do some more,
Mr. Chairman, if I may, sorry to delay.
you go ahead.
I talked about this in our last meeting. There is a process that we have to go through to
Yes.
close it. And it's governed by OCGA 3272. But if the commission does want to close it, we have to have a public hearing about it, which means we send notice about it. So again, vote how y'all want, but think about when we have a public hearing, that may be where some of the information can be shared. But also, we would have sent notice to those 3 homeowners. If they wanted to appear, if they decided to, they could voice their concerns. But if we're thinking ahead, those are things that we would have to notice before we actually have a vote on.
Got it.
So we could discuss it now, but it'd be, if there was a motion to be moved forward with setting that public hearing to move forward.
All right, the next, go ahead. You gotta finish that? Yeah, I make a motion to table.
Paul made the motion to table.
I second.
Alden second, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. I had a call, and I don't know, Chris, you should be getting called about Daffodil Road.
So this was new to me since it wasn't in our workshop, so.
It wasn't a workshop, but, actually, there's been an article written about that road. It's called Stuck in the Mud. We had some visitors that was here, writing an article. And, if anybody wants a copy of this, I'll give it to you, but, the guy was a rider, and he was leaving, this address. His GPS took him to Daffodil Road. And as he was going down Daffodil Road, he got stuck in his car. Had to get pulled out. Didn't fall off. It's real slick. And I would encourage county commission to go down that road, but me and my wife went down it about a week ago, one afternoon. We went down just to look, see how it was. And it's got ruts pretty deep, so if you come off of them ruts, you're going off about 4 foot. You're not going in the ditch, you're coming off that road. It's very, very slick. So I have been in touch with statewide engineer on a solution. And it's gonna be costly. It'll be around $100,000, but it's gonna take sand and going in there and building it. He said, I was told that clay would never pack because the type of clay it was, every time it gets wet, it gets real slick. And if you go down it, what happens is it just sticks to your tires. And when you get on the road, you think your tires are out of balance because the clay stuck to your tires, so it takes you a while to beat all that clay off. But it was interesting, and it just mentioned to me for safety reasons, not permanent close the road, but maybe put some warning signs out for those that are not aware of this road, and till we figure out a solution for this. I could get TJ just to put some warning, not close the road entirely, but maybe put up some warning signs, let people know. But that road is not in good shape. What's everybody think of that? I know we didn't discuss the workshop that should have been, but
Daffodil's a long road to make it from 90 all the way to county line, so.
well, Chris, you know where Daffodil Road is. It's right there by
I know where it is, that's the whole road.
There's nobody that's ever went down that road from the house. They always go back out the Lights Highway on the paved road. This guy come down it. He didn't know. And once you go down that road, if you ever been down that road when it's wet, the more you drive in it, the deeper you get. And then you get where you can't turn around. And I went down in my truck and I quickly turned around and backed out. I thought I was going to go past my dirt road driving skills. I'll say that. We do need to look at that. I don't know where it's going. I can't comment on that.
It's a road to maintain. I would say it's another public road to maintain, you know. If it's ours to maintain. None of these roads are ours to ask, my opinion.
I'm just saying it's our job to keep them safe, Chris.
Absolutely.
And I hate for some kids come down through there and run off, slid off of that. And that's all I'm trying to say is just warn people. We need to figure out something, at least give them a notice. Most people that live around that area know. Been doing it for 20 and 30 years. They know it's a lower area and it's always filled with water. That's the reason I always go the other way. But now since the road's built up and people take advantage of that, but that road is, what is it? It's over on the Lakes Highway,
Across the little kitchen.
Go across.
Bridge.
And you can
Get into the Lily, turn right.
okay. You want to go down one night?
Not really.
Come with me.
You say you can't ride down there?
I drove down. I went down to the side. I went down to the south side, and it was a lot easier than driving a car.
It sounds like where it's rough on each end, we need to put some kind of signs.
I put some kind of warning signs. And yes, sir.
I already have put caution signs on both ends.
Thank you.
I did that last week.
Me and TJ talked about that. Wait, Billy. We got it. We'll make that old witness and then we'll. Okay, we talked about this in the workshop. Discussed free healthcare insurance fee that was for non-participants. Currently, the county's been doing this for many, many years. They've been giving the employees that do not participate $80 per pay period. I was participating. I have declined taking any of that money because I thought it was unfair. That was my decision. But the county does pay, and it's around about $42,000 annually. And it's for those that do not participate in our health care plan. I know it's a tough decision, but it's been.
And those who do participate, we contribute towards the premium.
That's correct.
Yep.
Like most companies do. That's a hard one, Mr. Chairman. Well, we can table it till we go through this budget and figure it out, and then you can see, once you see the budget, then you start seeing this up. But you,
Mr. Chairman.
Understanding that employees that are now 65 and older are not allowed
correct.
to have, so I think that's age discrimination or whatever. So my supplements for my Medicare are gonna cost me about $200 a month. And you're saying you're not even gonna give the 80 now?
My
Because
company,
my understanding is that the county's gonna pay for that supplement, reimburse me for the supplements that I was gonna have to pay, because I wasn't gonna be allowed to.
I thought they did contribute to the supplement.
Pardon me?
I thought they did contribute to the supplement that you.
And we're going to, but I'm asking now, are you not gonna do that? That's what it sounds like.
This has nothing to do, this is just, if you're not participating with the health care plan, you know, it's not discrimination. I don't know any company out there that does that. My company don't. I work for, I'm on my wife's health care plan, and she, you know, my company doesn't offer that. I mean, it's just something, everybody's talking about the budget, just so it contributes to the budget. I'm not being harsh about it, I waived mine. Mine was $160 a month and I waived it. And that was my choice.
And it's just my personal feeling. But if you're gonna pay for this person over here, and this person over here choose not to participate, rather than take the $80 and acquire my own insurance, you know, what's the difference? You know, you paying over here and you're paying over there, you know, and if they give it to them, why not? If I had to vote right now, I'd vote to give it to them.
Okay.
Now that's Aldine. Now I don't know about nobody.
What you're saying is your choice not to take it. It wasn't my choice not to take it, it was yours. For me not to have it.
I just didn't think it was right. It was just my personal opinion. I see it.
Yeah, that's just Aldine. Now I don't know what Boyd feel about it.
It was me. It didn't have nothing to do with nobody else. I just felt like I've been in corporate businesses all my life. I just never. This is new. County government is new, and I'm having to adjust. But for me, I got elected, and I'm trying to be a good steward of the county's money.
Yeah, and for me, I respect that. I have to respect that. But I say, if you're going to pay for this person to take the insurance, then this person chooses not to take it, but I got to provide my own insurance. So you're going to give me an incentive, not an incentive, you're going to give me a supplement to help me pay for my personal insurance. Now that's just how I think. It might not be, I might not be looking for the county, but I'm looking, saying what's fair to the employee.
Robert, I'm a little confused. Why would you turn down the insurance unless you got insurance for your spouse? That's clear.
Well, sometimes it might be a decision on whether you pay insurance or pay for food for your children.
And I will say, and I will go along with Aldine. Our county is probably one of the lowest paid employers. So the $80 does probably compensate some of them. I mean, I have to agree. So it pains me, but as the county administrative chairman, I have to look at this report.
And I have to respect you. I have to respect that. But that's just my.
Can I speak on this for just a second? I've been an employee in this county for 15 years. We were come up to several years ago and asked if you could possibly get off county insurance, get off of it. We supplement you $80 to lower the county premium so the county could afford it.
Wow.
And several folks in my department did that. So now you're wanting to go against what they did back then and help the county.
I wasn't part of that conversation. I didn't know.
Yep. You're right, Joe. You're right, Joe. You triggered my thinking. You know, I get a Social Security check, so I have, you know. No, but you're exactly right. That's what happened.
Sorry about that, Joe.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. So we just motion dies. I think James provided us something on this removal of the old monument that's reported by a resident out on Old Ocilla Road and Old Hickory Road. There's a concrete monument there, and James provided us. Yeah. It'd be reference to an ordinance, so I would understand it to go through the same public process as in the ordinance where it has to go before the public.
That's right. And what we did was we tried to mimic really what's in the GDOT policy. And here it allows people to apply for a permit, but they could have a memorial put up for 1 year, and after the year they have to take it down. This allows us to help maintain and govern and protect our right of ways. There are limits as to what they do, what the families can do. Is they can't have it greater than 2 feet or 4 feet square size. Those are things that you can change how you want it, but those are just something we saw generic. For instance, they also can't have lights or candles. So like the one that's there now, I don't know the dimensions of it. I know there is a light, so that would not be allowed. And again, the thought is that this is a balance of allowing families and loved ones to honor those, but also addressing the concerns. Now, Commissioner, you asked, will this one be governed in? I would say no, because this would be an ordinance that passed and would go into place. I also know last time they talked to the family, I think the family had been willing to work with the county. That they don't want to cause any trouble. They're just trying to honor their loved ones. So I think if there was some concessions, maybe we can work with this family, but also having something in place that would only be there for a year. Again, I don't know the measurements of what's actually there right now, but this was to help get something in place. If we didn't have anything on the books, it would be in the authority of the county if you so choose to do it. And why I would look from the county is if this is what you want, we can make any edits to it, then we could prove it, and we would start noticing it for our next meeting, which we got a public hearing on it on September 1st.
Okay. So what we need to do is just make a motion to approve this, the wording of it.
If that's what y'all like, or if
Is this good enough for us to cut it to the public?
It is, and also during the one reason we have it for a month and also public hearing, if there's things y'all hear from your constituents that you want to see differently, they can get a copy of this and we can work on it. But if you have any amendments now, of course, we work for you. So if you have any amendments now, we're happy to hear it. But generally we try to address where there was nothing and try to mimic it as best we could by GDOT policy. There are things that are different. For instance, I think in GDOT policy, I think they have it where the family has to pay, I think, a fee to get the permit approved, and it's a generic one. We didn't include that here. We gave it there was no fee for the families here, nor they're allowed to generally put up what they want as long as it meets what the guidelines are. So those are things we can be more restrictive if the county would like, but we didn't charge fees or anything like that. We're also wouldn't be expending money to build anything either. I think that's why GDOT had fees, was to cover them buildings.
Correct. And we could make public notice for a workshop meeting.
The public hearing would need to be at the regular meeting.
County Commission meeting?
Yes, sir. And those permits would come to y'all as the commissioners.
All right. So we get on that. Approve the $1 lease on the annual lease for the fire truck and equipment only. This does not pertain to any other employment, but the equipment itself is a good. I've been told, I talked to Chris, I don't want to paraphrase Chris. Chris was very nice, but he did tell me that either way, the city was going to close that fire department and sell that equipment, so that's what it is. I think it's a good deal for the county. Like I said earlier, we got to figure out how it'd be nice to get to the point where we can have some full-time firemen on the county side. Will certainly reduce, and I think by this equipment could have our eyes over it.
Have we seen any paperwork or anything?
No.
Have the mayor talked to you about that?
No, the mayor has not.
Nah. Then what didn't they vote on something?
They voted on it.
But it was more than a truck though.
It was, they voted on their end. They voted for an employee. I think it was $66,000 employee, which, and then the truck itself. So they voted on it Thursday. Because when they do, we don't have to do it, but they do what's best for our county.
But they would be, so their offer is to basically subsidize a full-time person towards our fire.
Yes, that's what they want.
So we would have full-time coverage, not volunteer.
But can I ask Chris a question? Chris Paul? Is that all right?
Yeah, ask
Chris, so if I'm understanding this correctly, yeah, he's back.
there you go.
Yeah, if I'm understanding this correctly, what y'all are proposing is if we agree to it, is y'all would pay half of the salary up to $66,000.
No, that's not right. Half of the salary includes a package. It's more to a salary. It's insurance, retirement, and an actual physical what you feel in your pocket to spend.
But if we choose the employee ourselves, I mean, y'all not proposing that with an employee, is that correct?
I use my highest paid employee that I have to fight for to arrive at that number. So in my mind, if I'm using my highest paid employee, then 66,000 was not his actual salary, it was actually his complete package. So I'm offering you my highest, I guess you could say the worst case scenario financially, not this worst case scenario, but financially speaking, when you're talking about a budget like y'all are, and putting actual numbers, to me, this is, I guess if you want to go out and get, fire in a year that costs $500,000, that's up to your prerogative at that point. But I would think within the spirit of what we're trying to do, we have $33,000 on our side and $33,000 on your side, which would be half of the salary, half of retirement, half of a insurance package. That would be, I think that would be suffice in the spirit of everything we're trying to do. And my main objective here is not to handicap anybody, but rather to work together so that we can lower insurance rates. Because what y'all don't have is a full-time fire department, you have a volunteer fire department. What we don't have is manpower, and we just don't have it. And furthermore, the city is in the same situation, and it's not what I want, but it's what you gotta do sometimes. And it's the hard calls, the hard cuts, and I have a rating of 7 because of the efforts of the current fire department here in the county. I have a 10X in the city. But because the county follows the city, I'll refer to the inmate record.
Chris, are you representing the city tonight?
I was just here as a citizen, but I can't.
Okay.
I was asked to just then.
Okay.
So.
All right, thank you,
Yes, sir.
I think before we vote on something like that, there's a lot of questions need to be answered. Number one, where are the test records on this truck? Where are the test records, pump tests, and other maintenance records on this equipment? Where's the maintenance records on the department at? Anyway, before we vote to take this over. Now that's how they, it sounds good. But, there's a lot of questions we got before we talk about pardon? Where your pump test records on that truck?
Our fire station, our pump test is done once a year.
So they all up to date?
Yes. One's got to be done this year.
So it's not enough. You have to try to see who just have us a joint workshop meeting with the city.
Okay, and I ain't for cutting out that city fire department. Next thing you want to do is cut out the police department. Then before you know it, you ain't got a municipality, which means you ain't gonna get no grants, no kind of money. We're gonna be another Mayberry. You're gonna cut out your fire department. Then you're gonna cut out your police department. And you're gonna sell the property. And if you ain't got a police department and fire department, you ain't got no municipality, really. That's Aldina.
Don't get to where to take over everything.
And I might be being prejudiced, but
Any
If
other
the city
comment?
goes through with that, who has to take over? Does the county have to take over?
if the city walks off and says, boom, 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 we through, yes, we have to protect them.
Yes, we do.
And that's more expense on the county.
Yes.
So
And then you're gonna give me a position and tell me who I got to hire.
I'm going to interject on more expense from the county. I pay the same millage rate everybody else in here. I live at 809 West 3rd Street. City of Osceola is in the county of Urban. Let me remind everybody of that fact. It is not an additional cost. This city resides, this courthouse that you sit in resides in this city. So don't go and start making an us versus them situation. This is not an us versus them. We are us. We are Irwin County. We go to football games. We are Indians. We go to Irwin County High School.
I live in Osceola. My kids went to Irwin County High School. So don't give me this us and them scenario. It is not. I'm simply telling you, as a city council person of the city of Osceola, we are in a deficit. I didn't create the deficit. I didn't ask for the deficit. I'm just here to create solutions for the deficit.
But don't ask the county commissioner to solve the city's deficit. We got a deficit of our own.
$6,000 on the fire station that's not giving me anything on my insurance rate. So why would I spend for services when I'm getting done? And I'm looking at it from a fiduciary situation. It doesn't make sense to me to pay $306,000 for something that's giving me zero benefit. That's like paying for somebody else's truck for them to go drive there around, and I have to pay all the insurance and everything, and I get zero benefit out of that truck. It's paying for somebody else's stuff to have. I don't think that's my duty when I swore my hand like everybody else in that panel did to do what's right by the citizens, for the taxation of these citizens, for we can be the watchdog for the taxes for the citizens of this town. I'm sorry. It's not what I want to do, it's what I got to do to make this thing work out.
Tell me one thing, and I'll hush, Mr. Chairman. Where is the money that was allocated to build a fire station in the city of Osceola through Sparks? Tell me where is it at, since you represent the city.
That is a wonderful question. And I wish I could tell you that I had the answer for that. But if you remember, SPLOST ran out last year. We negotiated. Don Hickey was in the room when it happened. And we reduced that SPLOST rate. I don't know where that money went to because, as the chairman here said a minute ago, I didn't create that mess. I can tell you $1.2 million of ARPA funds is not there anymore. I did not create that mess. I simply took over in office 2 days from now, 2 years ago. And since then, we have made progress in working towards a fiduciary financial situation that's positive for this town. And it's unfortunate the way it is, but it's just got to be done this way, or else we are in the same situation. We're just kicking it down the road. At some point, you cannot keep including a TAN note as income and not include it as an expenditure. You have to adjust for it somehow or another. When you've got $500,000, you have $2.6 million income, and you have a $2.6 million expense, but somewhere at the end of December the 31st, in the middle of our fiscal year, you don't account for paying for that $500,000. You really have a budget of $3.1 million and an income of $2.6. Or you can say I have an expenditure of $2.1 million with a TAN note of $500,000, and you got to make adjustments. And that's what I'm choosing to do.
Yeah, what you fixing to do.
So,
I don't think that's a city problem. That's not a county problem.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if the city fails it, the city does not have a fire department, fire breaks out in the city, who has to cover it?
County.
Okay. That's all.
So what would be the difference? I mean, if the city has already agreed they're not gonna have a fire department, or they're not gonna cover that service, we're gonna have to cover that service regardless. Yes, there's gonna be an expense, regardless of how we look at this. Wouldn't it be best to take their offer than having to finance it all by ourselves? I mean, that makes, regardless, there's going to be an expense there. And regardless, that's something I'm sure is not in the $1.52 million proposal. But it's better to take that proposal and get something out of it than having to take that full-on expense, is it not? I mean, is it a done deal? The city is out of fire business.
I don't see where, if I leave the fire department, then I have to go cut the police department. If I don't cut the police department, I got to cut the water department, which actually makes money to add back to the coffers. Well, I got to cut the sanitation, which makes money to add back to the coffers. So I got to cut the clerk, which who you pay the bill to. I've got to cut something. I mean, you tell me, you all supposed to live in the city of Osceola, but you tell me. So which one are you going to cut? Are you going to cut the thing that gives you nothing on your insurance? Or are you going to give me, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If the county's going to take over anyway.
Well, let me ask this one. Let me ask this
It makes
question.
no sense to take their offer.
Well, let me ask this question. I'll ask you for Chief Joe over here. Do y'all already cover and respond to the city of Osceola?
We do back up the city of Osceola, they call.
And it's the city of Osceola in the county borough. And I'll leave it at that.
We got a question. Do we still have a mutual aid agreement between the city and the county? With the county fire department coming to the city will come out in the county? Do we still have that?
I'm not sure.
Brandon? Sir?
The city does not have the capabilities to back us up out in the county. If they pull out of town, then we don't have anything left in town to protect the city. So they ain't in a position to roll outside the city.
So I didn't understand that. We go in to help them, but they don't come out and help us. Okay. One other thing I'd like to throw in, the section of the county I live in, we don't have a fire station in 5 miles of hundreds of people. And this is a Brandon question too, but I used to be the county fire chief back in the early 1990s. I don't know if the law's been changed since then or not. I expect it probably has more involved, but you could only go 5 straight miles as crow flies to the station to get an ISO rating less than 10. Does the mutual aid agreement affect that any at all? In other words, the Harding Fire Department, 5 miles would cover a Pleasure Lake, but is that agreeable?
Recently talking about changes in ISO rules, it used to allow jurisdictional crosses like that. And when I say jurisdiction, I'm talking about Irwin County versus Tift County. In that situation, they took that out of play long ago. So there was a lot of county governments that had fire stations close to county lines that their neighboring county used to be able to get benefit from, and they stopped that. Okay. They stopped it at the boundary. And one other thing they changed, you talk about the 5 miles, it used to be 5-mile radius. And they figured out a fire truck can't move as a crow flies. They changed it to 5 road miles. So that also shrunk that 5-mile radius. So there's quite a bit of area in Irwin County that's uncovered.
And we do this, and we got to build a station on the north side of the county in order to cover Forest River. Forest River would be out of the 5-mile radius. Am I right? And we got a couple of time.
So currently with the city at the ISO rating of 7, which is what we have in the county, the Old Whitley Crossing Station is covering that. If we advance this in some sort of a combination, and we were able to retest with ISO inside the incorporated area, the pressurized water system will most likely give a lot of credit. So if the city ISO rating could drop back down, that's where that would come into play. Then yes, Forest River and that North Industrial Park would be outside the 5 miles of this station. So in the county jurisdiction, for example, if the city, whatever they used to do, let's just say a 5, if we were able to retest and the city was able to reduce theirs to a 5, county's a 7, if our station at Old Whitley is covering it as a 7. So the industry is not getting the benefit that it should. So that long answer to that question is yes, there would have to be something done if that's the scenario down the road.
How does having
If we didn't cover them, if we didn't cover them, ISO rating would be even higher with it.
It'd be a 7. It'd be a 7.
How does taking the deal, but working with the city in this way benefit Holt to Irwinville and, out?
So right now, the county is a fully volunteer fire department. Those guys, a lot of those are cross-trained. So they're firefighter paramedics, firefighter EMTs. They're being paid to staff an ambulance. So when the fire tone goes off, if they're not busy, they jump in the fire truck and on the fire car. If both of those crews are out on ambulance calls, we are 100% volunteer. Somebody's got to go get a fire truck rolling. So in doing a deal like we first talked about, where we pick up part of the payroll money from the city, the county would have to come up with another part of it. But if we could put on that full-time position for the county, that would be a tremendous benefit to what improvement from what we currently have.
And that would benefit everyone financially, even if you have a volunteer station near you or not near you.
How many people you'd have to hire to cover up one shift? 3 people.
Which the city is offering to I say subsidize.
They gonna subsidize all 3 of those employees? That's why I say there's a lot of things need to be answered.
Half an employee. So we're talking about the county now, right? Okay, so I'm giving you as a city, taxation, I'm giving you a half an employee to solve the bigger problems for the county.
Which means we got to hire 2 more people.
Eventually, yeah. Or, don't get anybody.
Or just stay volunteer, like what we have.
That's what.
You know what? I think the commissioners, as well as the citizens, and the city leaders need to sit down around the table. That's what I think. Invite the community. And the county leaders and the city leaders need to sit around the table and put all the cards on the table. And let's see where we're going. Now that's where I see it now. I might be wrong.
No offense to you, Mr. Tyson, but it sounds like they done made their mind up.
Yeah.
The city's done made
They
their
done
mind
made their mind up for us to take.
Well, it's not a bad, it's a good deal.
All these, well, if it's a good deal, then.
I mean, right here, they got a lot of equipment. It goes for this for $1. I mean,
If it's a good deal, then commissioners go for it. I mean, I like the way Al Lee sees it. If it's a good deal, you know, just kind of want to go with it. That's up to y'all.
They're gonna cover some.
So- no, they ain't gonna do that. We'll just get ready to hire. This here is just for the equipment, nothing to do with employees. This is strictly for, the annual lease for the fire truck and equipment, nothing else.
So your proposal is to not work with them with the employee portion.
Well, Joe informed me that there may be some certification issues.
See, that's why I say we need all the cards on the table. You know,
Well, I thought the deal was, we discussed at the workshop, taking the truck with the equipment and then paying half of the.
Subsidizing one person.
Subsidizing one person. So I feel like that's what we either need to vote on or not vote on.
see, one other thing. You take on another department, then you ask Joe to manage 2 departments for the same salary. See, there's a lot of things need to be answered before you just jump up and do something. You ask Joe to manage 2 departments now for the same salary.
Well, I just don't want to give away free money.
That's gonna cost us some.
Well, ain't nothing free no more. They say something in Church of Salvation is free.
They're willing to pay a portion of it.
And this is an improvement to the county.
Well, one thing we need to consider is, based on the salary here, that's just a little bit of what Joe makes, so. I mean, Joe, we pay Joe pretty good, but $6,000, y'all, I mean, my defense suppose. City can pay what they want, they'll pay the policemen, they have a higher payroll, but we gotta think about it. We're gonna change our payroll to match that? Somebody's gonna say something about it. I would.
Yeah, that's not all payment, that's the benefit.
That's the benefit of, this compensation.
Is the city, the offer is a comprehensive offer, so if you reject half of the offer.
It wasn't for a specific employee, it was just for one.
That's what I'm saying, but it wasn't just for a truck or just hardware, it was hardware and subsidizing a person. So if you reject that, it changes the deal entirely, I would think.
Well, it just have to be in there, what we do.
What if they sell
If
the
the
truck?
commissioners think it's a good deal, then, yeah, if the commissioners think it's a good deal, you know, I'm just one person, you know. You know, I'm just one person, you know.
How many volunteers do we have countywide?
49.
How many?
49. Out of that 49, there's only 24 that are actually certified to go in and fight firefighter.
And are they dispersed throughout the county on all areas?
No, they are not.
So how well are they gonna be able to serve the city? Because the city's got to understand, they're not gonna be right there, it's like downtown. They're gonna come from the distance, just like they do in the county. If we call, it may be 5 to 10 minutes before they get there. So that's, I'm just pointing that out. You know, it's not like you call 2 minutes later, they're in the house.
It's the same thing Brandon said. If both my ambulances are out, this is a complete volunteer.
That's right. That's right.
They're, you know, to the volunteers get there, depending on wherever they come from.
It may take some more conversations. I think it's a great opportunity to improve the service, city through county through.
Mr. Chairman, are there any time sensitivities on it from the city point of view?
Chris, timeline, decisions on this for the county?
I wouldn't wait long. I mean, I ain't trying to push all that. I'm already in my fiscal year, and I'm kind of waiting.
So, Mr. Chairman, have you and the mayor discussed this?
No, we have not.
Does the mayor vote on this?
Huh?
Council voted on this. The mayor didn't vote on this.
I know it, but the council, if the council voted on it, then it look like to me, have you received a written proposal or something, you know?
Just what the list of gives.
I mean, Carl and I had a great discussion about it.
Yeah, you had a verbal discussion, but we're talking about,
We had a face-to-face discussion. But
yeah, that's good, but you gotta have, you need something on paper for all of us, you know.
Well, I sent my inventory.
Okay. You said your inventory.
Well, he said it does, it's included. It's like, I think that's in the fire truck too.
Okay, I'm home.
So do I have, it sounds like we're at a standstill on this, so we need to table this to get together, have a short meeting.
I would really, I'd like to know how the citizens feel about it in another meeting. I'd like to know how our citizens feel about it. Yeah, I really would. I would. And feel free to call me and tell me how you feel about it. Tell me how you feel. And based on that, that's the way I'll vote. I represent the citizens.
I like your
But
idea.
I'm kind of prejudiced because everybody knows how I fought for that fire department. And yeah, I'm prejudiced for it. But call me, tell me how you feel about it. That's the way I vote.
So, Tom, for about table, motion to table this, or do we get a vote? I mean, I'll put it out there if y'all want to make a motion to approve this. There's still some questions, so, do I have a motion to table this later time? I'll get on that, James.
Do you have an idea of the time frame, Chris? I mean,
again, I'm already in my fiscal year. Every day you delay this is a day you're costing the citizens of Ursula $1,000 a day just on that. So at some point, if it's just going to be this complicated, I'll be honest with you, I was just really looking for something that squared the deal up for the entire citizens of the whole county and working together. I thought the ISO rating coming down and lowering the overall household expenditure of income. We're talking about raising taxes. I hate to say it's a dirty word, but it's been brought up today. If I can negate some of that, lay down the road with some insurance rating coming down, which includes your actual state farm bill or farm bureau bill or whoever you do insurance with for your home. Lord knows it's already gone up with hurricanes. If we can get it to go down some more, because we go from a 7 to a 6. In the city, I probably go down to a 5 because I got pressurized water. We keep working this thing. I've heard some mentions of some, we haven't brought it up here tonight. And I know it's ifs and buts, and can you notice the Christmas all year long. But if we can get the safer grants,
then you're gonna get 2 extra men, and that answers your question, that we get 3, and I'm giving you half the man ahead of time. I think it's a great proposal, and I don't understand why this is so hard. And I'll be honest with you, since it's so easy, I'm ready to walk away from it, let you just have status quo, and we'll always say, and we'll always pay more taxes on the people pay. I'm trying to work something that's good for the entire citizenry of this whole county. This is not us versus them thing. This is not the city of Priscilla versus the county of Irwin. I said it a minute ago. He is from Irwin County High School. He is from Irwin County. I'm from Irwin County. I pay the same millage rate that you pay. So don't say, well, the citizens of Priscilla don't understand that this is going to be a delay. There already is a delay in the call. He just said it. He said it already is. If we're all on the analyst, it's already delayed. So, at least, if there's a delay in the call, I got a full-time fireman for the citizens of Irwin County on duty. So do status quo. And we'll be right. You always do what you've always done. You always get what you always got.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the lease of the truck and equipment and their offer for subsidizing the person.
Do I have a second?
A second.
John, second. All in favor? All opposed?
I'm going to sustain until I hear from the citizens.
Not sustained.
So, yeah, 2-4. Yeah, 2-4. Go for it.
I make a motion to approve.
You vote for it. We vote for it. Approve it. Pass.
I think it's a good deal, y'all.
Okay. Let's move on to the next item.
Yes, it's gonna be here.
I don't think the commission took action number 16. I don't think I heard anything on that.
No, it was the ordinance. You said that we would have to.
I guess it's a motion to move forward as
I make a motion to move forward.
Item 16 on removal of monument and ordinance regarding monuments on right of ways. Do I have a motion? Christian made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'm sorry.
I've been second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. And that means we will put it in the paper for the next county commission meeting published, right, Jack?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Approved reappointment for Helen Rain to library board.
So moved. Second.
Alvin made the motion, Chris second, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Approve the planners first, bank for TAN loan, the lowest interest was 4.89%. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Before we vote on that, I want the citizens to know that we're not voting to go borrow $500,000. We're just setting up a TAN note just in case we happen to need money. We're not saying that we're actually trying not to borrow any money, but we want to have this just in case something happens. We'll have somewhere to go get some money. That being said, I'll approve of planners first thing.
Alvin made the motion and Paul made the second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries to approve the TAN loan for planners first. The next item is long overdue and been waiting for is the bid for the roof repairs for the courthouse. And the first part of this is for the flat part, the 4 corners, which is flat. Friday afternoon, we got this bid in. As you can see, I'm breaking the seal, so I have it looked. And this bidder is Top Coats Roofing, and You know, I'm trying to look for the numbers, which is cool. Okay, his bid includes materials at $24,840, labor at $22,143, and contingency costs, if needed, is $2,500. This is here is financed by a grant. I know there's some opposition on it, but a grant of $250,000 is going to supplement and pay for this. So, do I have a motion to approve this bid? You want to look at it? Is that the only one? That's the only one we got. Came in just before 5 o'clock Friday.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
does that include the slate that has to be
No,
replaced?
that's going to come next.
Okay.
We was unsure on what this total cost would be. We did have someone come up that was they did a lot of historical repairs, roof repairs, and they come in and scared us to death about what the total cost would be on this. But this was a fair. We do need to get this fixed as we've got some conditions that's set up in this courthouse. If we don't get on top of it, we're going to lose this courthouse. And got mold, got some other issues we need to address. But the only way we can address those issues, we got to stop leaking. So,
I will say, over last Thursday, it was still pouring in here.
there was evidence. There was a trash can right here.
It didn't rain in here, it was outside the hall.
Yep.
There, and it didn't matter.
So, with that said,
Okay, so you said, what did you say about the grant in relation to
the
this?
grant was $250,000, which would pay up to $250,000 to repair the courthouse.
Towards this?
Yes.
And this total was? What was the total?
About 49,000, including the contingency cost, which is something that it's just a building cushion for it looks like a building cushion for the bed.
Is that going to include them repairing the rock?
The slate?
No, on the flat part, I know there's gotta be rock.
Yes.
They're just not gonna go up there and slap down some tar.
No, he said all that was including materials.
So the grant is for more than this, but the grant is good for the rest of the roof also.
Yes.
So then doing that doesn't jeopardize the grant, does it?
No.
It doesn't say, oh, it was spent.
No, it goes in stages, so we wanted to manage this part. The flat seemed like to be where we needed to fix, and then the slates. I've had sort of look and said, well, the slates can be repaired, so that's the way we would address it to repair the slates.
So this is the first step towards fixing it.
Correct. We're taking the first steps, yes, sir.
And do we have a second step?
Yes, sir. So this is work we're gonna get. We know what this bid is, that's what we're really worried about. So now we know we got some money to play with.
Okay. Yeah, this addresses all the structural stuff, like you mentioned.
Yes, that's what I was told.
But it was the packaging.
No, this is not packaging.
This does not include any mold removal.
No, sir.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. Proceed.
Chris, Paul made the motion to accept the bid. Paul McIntyre made the motion to second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. And the next item
should be in your book, enter agreement for the E911. I don't think nobody ever knew who really oversees 911. I know the sheriff, I've always thought the sheriff handled it, and I've been told the county handles it. After speaking with the sheriff, there've been some challenges. You know, we got that grant for that. Talking about grants, we got that grant for that all that communication here out there, and the sheriff has really been vocal about that equipment not working 100%. It is working partially. So it was decided to give them the ownership of 911, but then oversee the employees and trying to get us back on track on this equipment. We're working on, actually, we got a meeting this week with the folks that sold it to Earl County, to get them to make good of this. So hopefully we got that progress, but the main thing is to get this intergovernmental agreement with the sheriff so they can oversee the 911 system. Anything, James?
And I'll just add, so what you have is the intergovernmental agreement between the county and the sheriff. It's the contract. It's for 50 years, which is the longest you can do under Georgia law for an intergovernmental agreement. And I talked to the sheriff about this is a trend we're seeing in a lot of Georgia counties. 911 were civilians under county employees, but a lot of them are moving to the sheriff's office. As we all know, the sheriff is his own constitutional office, so this just shows that it'll be going to his office. And we've talked about transition dates, and why that's important is you have a clear break of when it was county employees, and whatever date it would be, they would now be the sheriff office employees. I mentioned September 1st just because it's the first of the new month, but I leave that to the discretion of the chairman. Yeah, fiscal year too. So that would give us a transition period for this next 30 days to work with these employees, let them know, you would be transitioning over. If you choose to, you don't have to choose to, but you would now be a sheriff's office employee, have a clean break. Of course, anything that happened after that, if you're on sheriff's watch, anything that would happen in the next 30 days still in the county's watch for liability and what the issue things like that. But ultimately, they all come out of the same county coffers, but it's just a procedural break. Right. So that's what that agreement is.
So this is something y'all discussed, and you've seen this.
There's, like I said, there's just dates we could enter. September 1, that stuff we would change. But as far as everything else, it would then, if the county approves it, then the sheriff would sign it, and we could work with getting the employees transitioned over in the next 30 days.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion we approve.
Chris makes the motion. Second. Paul McIntyre second the intergovernment agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And the next item, the next item of business is executive session. I do need to get a motion to go into executive session for discuss legal.
Attorney-client privilege.
Yep, attorney.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Paul made the motion.
I'll second.
I've been second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.